Hey, welcome to the show. It's your boy JYD, Jerome Williams, Junkyard Dogs in the building. And without me even going into it too far, I have someone very special and dear to not only the Dog Pound, but the whole Williams clan, the whole JYD brigade. It all started with Doc. And I got to introduce one of the icons of all icons, Hall of Famer. I mean, not only led the NBA, but pretty much ushered in and carried it on his back for years and decades. This guy is world renowned. The infamous Dr. J. Julius. Dog. That's it. That's it.
It's all good, man. Thank you for the introduction. Always good to get with you, chat. I mean, you always got a big smile on your face, and always got those little ones with you. Teach them how to join the pound, and
That's right.
Operate. So you got a little doctor stuff going there too, because your boys can operate. And you always do, man. So one thing I enjoy about you is, you're always upbeat and personable, and you're the same guy every time I see you.
Come on, Doc. Got
Yeah.
you gotta keep it the same. People.
Yeah.
I can't do the hills and valleys. I gotta stay on.
Yeah. This is over 40 years, man.
That's right.
A lot of years.
It's a lot of years, and
If I could ask you a question, what's your secret, man?
what was my secret?
Yeah.
Well, the secret you told me was always find a good missus to put on your arm.
Yeah.
I think that's something that a lot of us kind of either neglect or don't take full advantage of, because we're maybe looking at some grass being greener on the other side, but stay true to the lawn that I was gifted, and I made sure I took care of my lawn. I wasn't worried about somebody else's lawn and trying to hop over to the to the other green grass pastures.
And that is a gift. That is a gift. Finding that person in your life. I'm married for the second time, and first one was 30 years, and this one we coming up on 20. So I've been married since I was like a puppy, or whatever. And now at 73, I just told her, I said, I'm gonna be around till I'm 93. So don't be planning no tricky stuff.
That's right.
I got another 20 years.
You got another 20 good years, Doc.
Yeah.
We on our show, obviously, IP FAMBA is intellectual property for athletes, made by athletes. That's the whole technology behind what we do. We try to instill this in the young people from middle school all throughout their athletic journey. And so here is this new wave of not only technology coming together, but being able to educate these youngsters as well as some of the older cats, as we can see with, if you just watch the news, people's levels of their name, image, and likeness are like the stock market. They go up, they go down. So first question to you is, when did you realize that your name, image, and likeness was actually worth something?
I think while I was in college, I played freshman basketball, because back then, come in first year, you got to play on the freshman team.
Right.
So I'm playing on the freshman team, and I'm at UMass, and we're running the table. We beat everybody. We had like a 15-0 season or whatever. But after one of the games, I went to watch the varsity play. So I'm sitting up in the bleachers in our building, which was a nice building. It would hold 3,000 or 4,000 people, whatever. So I'm sitting up there, and a kid comes up to me after sliding past about 12 people with a pen and pad, and he said, "Can you sign this for me?" And I had never done an autograph for anybody before, So I said, me? And he said, yeah, I just watched you play, and I got to get this signature, whatever. He was very, very, very polite. So, so I signed Julius Erving, right?
Right.
And then I looked at it, and I realized it looked like chicken scratching.
Uh-oh.
That autograph was terrible, man. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to fix this. So
Right.
I started working on a really nice autograph
Yeah.
from that moment on. And I realized that was something I didn't get paid for it or anything, but it was something that somebody wanted. And they were polite enough to ask. They knew how to do it. They were prepared, and it was of value to them.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much where it started, man. Well, I was in college, and Converse was the first company that I signed a contract with after I became a pro, and the whole Converse story with me. I mean, it's been a lifetime, and still waiting for that lifetime deal from them.
Come on now. Hey, we need to speak that into existence. That needs to go down today, Doc.
Yeah, I think it's right. It's right around the corner. It's no pressure, but it's like I've been associated with them for so long. I couldn't change if I wanted to.
That's right.
So I'm still rocking my stuff, and Converse was acquired by Nike, so they're under that bigger umbrella,
right,
or whatever. But they still operate as an independent entity globally. So I've been able to travel around the world because of Converse, man. They first ones to take me to South America. They took me to China. They took me to obviously leaving the States, Mexico, Canada, and all the states in the U.S. I mean, we had programs back in the day where we just gave shoes away. So we would go, we tried to give shoes in all 50 states.
Right.
Identify, some kids who were playing and who might have been living in an underserved community and whatever, and come in there with 50 or 100 pair of shoes or whatever, and that would make their day. I mean,
come on,
it made for an early Christmas.
Hey, and that's coming from you. That's a whole different gift.
Yeah, but I did feel like Santa Claus, a fictional character made real, because you get out when you get into the community. Community's everything, man. Recently, I went back to my hometown in Roosevelt, Long Island, and Nancy Lieberman Klein. Her company, they do DreamWorks, so they do courts.
And she did a court for you?
They redid the court, man.
Come on. Shout out to Nancy. She's dog pound. That was my first professional job, came from Nancy Lieberman, coaching the Big Three with Team Power for the championship, Doc.
Yep. Yep, I was there.
You were there. You were there. Give me hugs and high fives. Doc, you got people here in the chat saying, Doc, in no way he's 73. That's my man, Don Deaton, played with me at Montgomery College. I see Michael Graham from Georgetown alumni. They love you, Doc. Getting a lot of love, man.
Thank you. Love you guys too.
My next question, Doc, as you were early in your career, because these are some of the gems that you throw out a lot of times that I know, but I want you to share with other people. Who was that person that when you played with or against, I should say against, that you then said to yourself, okay, I'm a pro. I'm about to be that guy. Who's that guy, that matchup that you figured it out, like, hey, if I can do it against him, it's shut it down. I know the answer.
All right. Well, that's a good one, man. But I mean, I felt like, since I came out of school in 71, and he came out in like 69, 70, and 7'2", and dominating everybody, So I always felt like I was in Kareem's shadow.
That's it. That's the one.
I was like, I got to break out from under this shadow at some point,
Right.
So when we swept him in '83, It took a long time to get there, but
It took a while.
we got there, man. We sent them home, and they came over and congratulated us. And I mean, it was a real nice thing because it was earned. It wasn't given.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. And you had to get through Boston to get there.
Yeah, Boston, New York, Milwaukee. But Milwaukee was, as great a rivalry with Philly as Boston was. Boston historically it was, but during my era, when they had Marcus Johnson and Mickey Johnson and Bob Lanier,
Big Bob.
Yeah, they had that whole crew, man. Quinn Buckner was there. Yeah, that was a special team, man, and they couldn't get by us. We had more 1-point games with them than anybody. Coming down to the last shot.
Yeah. So the one thing I want to bring up, and I want you to be able to touch on this with your own voice, is I think we need to start a petition that all the points that icons like yourself brought to the game should be in the overall points perspective of the NBA. I see these games and I see these players today reaching greater and greater heights at the level, and we respect them, especially as legends. You know this. You always shout out. I always shout out the next generation. Shout out the people who paved the way. So if the NBA took over the NBA, those points should always be in. So I'm gonna let you tell your story, because you're up in the 30,000s when we're talking about the combination of the points, and not just in the top 25 of NBA.
Yeah, it's a fan's argument, I guess, because players know.
Players know.
There's 8 people who have scored more than 30,000 points in their careers, and I'm one of them. And and this is, ahead of some guys who were significant scorers. I mean, you're talking Moses Malone, George Gervin, Dan Issel, John Havlicek. You're talking, guys who, with all their points, they don't make it to 30.
Yeah.
And now, you probably obviously Durant's going to get there in a minute or whatever.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. So he's the next guy on track, I think. And there's some tremendous scorers in the game, and there's been tremendous games in ABA and NBA history, man. I think of, sometimes when I watch these playoffs or whatever, and I see games and I see the commentary, and they say, well, that's the first time anybody ever did that, scored 40 points, 20 rebounds, and 10 assists or whatever. And you know how many times that's been done in the playoffs?
Correct.
Man, in the ABA and even in the NBA, Wilt and Russell, going out there getting 25, 30 rebounds or whatever. My last playoff series in the ABA, we played the Denver Nuggets. And they had David Thompson, and they had Dan Issel, and they had Ralph Simpson, who was great. And they had Bobby Jones, one of the greatest defenders of all time, who's in the Hall of Fame because of his defensive prowess.
Bobby could play some D.
So they had 4 Hall of Famers on their team, and really, I was the only Hall of Famer on my team, because Brian Taylor, never got overlooked. John Williamson got overlooked, and there wasn't any other Hall of Famers on there, man. And we played that first game in Denver, and we got a split. We won the first game and lost the second game. And I had 45 in the first game and 48 in the second game. Just to establish that we came to play and we came to win.
We came out here to do it up big, yes.
And this wasn't against no chumps, This wasn't against no chumps, and we ended up winning that series in 6 games. And that was the last of the ABA. And I'm so glad that people like yourself and so many others, Peter Vesey and Bob Costas, and guys who were part of that experience are still around, to keep it alive and to validate,
Yep.
the things that were ABA stuff. And
Yeah.
I love it, man. And a decision made when you come out of college to go to one league versus the other or whatever, it can have a different impact on your life. But if it's like Frank Sinatra, I hear to that. I say, look, I did it my way.
Yeah.
And then maybe I get penalized, sometimes when they just leave my name off, statistically, but the essence of my game and the effect that it had on people, who came and who paid and who didn't want to look down in that popcorn bag because they know they might miss something. They need to keep their head up all the time, eyes on number 32, eyes on number 6.
Yep.
And I got that type of feedback. They were like, man, I came to watch the game. I couldn't take my eyes off you,
Mm-hmm.
Well, God gifted me with, something, that was maybe a little different. Was it better? I don't know. I mean, I never played on a team in the pros, ABA or NBA, that had a losing season. I never played on a team that never made the playoffs. So for those 16 years,
Stop it.
we were in the playoffs every year. We gave ourselves a shot. We had a chance at 6 championships and brought 3 home, 2 ABA and 1 NBA. So I don't
3 out of 6.
Yeah, I don't look back and think about doing anything any differently because I utilized what I was blessed to do and tried to pass that on. Anytime a guy came and joined my squad, I take him home to dinner, and I want him to feel at home in my home and understand that this was now his home because he's my teammate.
That's right.
I was like that with all my teammates, man. When they came in, and Andrew Toney was one of those guys that I particularly liked, John Williamson, Larry Keenan, when they came in, because that's what guys did to me when I was in Virginia. So when I came in, Ray Scott, took me under his wing and said, young fella, this is what we do here. This is how we do it. So we all need that type of guidance, JYD. We all need it.
We do.
And we need to be open for it, though, to become the beneficiary of it. You need to listen more.
That's right.
Talk. Don't come in yap, talking.
You gotta let them go. And you know what? I'm here because I'm all about giving people their flowers.
Yes.
Doc, you deserve your flowers. And I we're gonna get into exactly why we have a real connection for people who don't know, but I want you to touch on the fact that, we grew up playing a little bit of 3-on-3, right? You and I. Yes. And that was one of the biggest games for us when we couldn't get that 5-on-5 going. There was a lot of 3-on-3 where we actually homed in on a lot of our skills because there was a lot of space and a lot less activity with less people out there. And a few years back, actually to be 6 years ago, we were both asked by Ice Cube, historic rap icon, to come participate in his Big 3. And now they have the trophy, the championship trophy is the Dr. J. Julius Erving championship trophy. And, trophies live on for long periods of time. Talk about, being honored in that way, to have something named after you that people hoist up and say, yo, I got to this point in my life where I can hoist up this trophy.
Yeah, I found that it's been so rewarding post-playing career, to still have recognitions. Hall of Fame was obviously probably the biggest one 5 years after basketball. The NBA this year, they named the Slam Dunk Champions Trophy after me. And with the Big 3 for the championship trophy to be, Julius Erving Award. And many things like that have happened in the, I've been out of the game, JYD, man. 1987 was a long time ago, right? So,
Come on.
87. So you add 13 and you add 23, that's 39, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 36. I've been out 36 years. So I'm out more than twice as long as I was there. And I think if I walk into a building in Boston Garden or Los Angeles or anywhere, Chicago or whatever, there's going to be a recognition. And it's not, like I used to always think of the boxers, man. When when a guy, got old and he came to the fight and he was, sitting in the front row and he wasn't looking too good.
Right.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't want to be that guy, man.
You don't want to
wanna
be that guy.
So my wife is, first and foremost in terms of, you can't leave the house till you get it correct.
Oh.
you
Hey,
got
look.
to get it right because you represent this family. You represent me and these kids.
Tell your wife I said hi, and she's doing a great job. I'm sitting here watching the fight, Devontae fight 2 weeks ago.
David.
I see they got celebrities coming to the fight, and they said, "Oh, Dr. J just pulled up." Doc steps out the limo, got on the leather jacket, looking slick, the shades, the hair. I was like, "Oh." I said, "This is my dog. Let me hit Doc." I'm hitting Doc. Yeah. Doc hit me back. Yeah, bro. Thanks for the shout out.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's those moments, though, man. That it's just fun. So she's doing a fantastic job with the style. It's all about the fashion, and Doc still got it smooth.
Yeah. Stay current. I got a lot of old stuff in the closet. I got some new stuff. Got this line over this place called Indochino, man. Woo! I need to turn you on because I need to turn you on. They just take your measurements, custom made suit.
Okay.
And they don't cost nothing, man.
Okay.
Custom made suit. You're talking about like $1,500, whatever, Because you can go in some stores, $5,000, $6,000, $10,000.
Right. That's a fact.
This place, custom made, they deliver it in 2 weeks.
Come on.
It's a bad place, man. And
okay.
So I'm rocking those lately. I got about 5 or 6 of them. And my boy LT Brinkley, he sent me over there, and then they wouldn't even take my money when I went over there. He said, "Mr. Brinkley got this covered." I said, "Now that's what."
Well, I mean, come on, Doc.
That's what friends
your Doc, man. They got to give you your flowers, man. They got to do what they do all day, every day, And let's hop into this. I want to take you back to the year 1993.
Okay.
Daytona Beach. It was sand. The sand was popping. The sun was shining. And Doc was doing his tour, with Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
And I'm in the crowd, and I just see Doc looking at me eye to eye through this crowd of 5,000 people. And so I'm saying to myself, yo, there is Doc staring right at me. And he's doing his warm up. He's putting on the show. Still got it. Balls going through. Crowds cheering. And then Doc says the magic words that I hear echo in my ear, every night. "Who wants to play me one-on-one?" And I'm like, oh, no, he didn't. All these hands go up and people shouting, "Man, Doc, pick me, pick me." I'm in the back like, "Doc, you know what to do." And Doc like, hey, that guy in the back with the yellow t-shirt. Yep, that's the one I want. And you brought me to the front of all these people in 1993. And then and proceed to tell the, people that, I was getting ready to get to, but he wasn't going to be too hard on me. And I was just this young kid, no scholarship offers, none of that. Just, playing on the streets, played at Montgomery College, Division III community college. and we proceed to check ball, which you did give me ball first. I said, we're going to shoot for it. Like, nope, you got it. And I remember just, I was like, well, let me make sure I got this ball low. Look at Doc's stance. Doc, I always grew up low man wins, so I was trying to get down. Doc is in triple threat defensive stance. And the people are like, what is this young boy getting ready to do? And, we started going at it. You blocking shots. I'm trying to get to the cup. And it's like, it's all out war. And I was saying to myself, oh, is this what it's like? Oh, my goodness. Doc is here not playing around.
Yeah.
Scores going back and forth. Then I remember that, you started lightening up a little bit. The crowd was getting into it. And I just felt about that time when, if I'm gonna make anything of myself, I'm playing against a living legend who I grew up idolizing. I gotta give it everything I got. So Doc, you know what I did next, Doc? I came up out that yellow t-shirt. My Charles Barkley jersey on up underneath of that. And I got by you with my DC crossover and lucked up on the rim. And I mean, this is back in 90, so the camera footage wasn't as good as these pictures. People on Facebook, people on Instagram and Twitter, they can see what's going on. They see Doc in the picture and they see me on the rim. So this was a moment of my life where I said, I was like, where's my mama at? Because mama, we made it. And she wasn't nowhere to be found. But I was still in the action. And I remember you nodding to me and you said, okay, young fella. Real. And I was like, I didn't know what that meant. I was like, hey, it's been real since I stepped on this court. I was like, I don't know what real meant. But it was make it, take it. And I had the ball back. And I said, okay, I used that crossover. Now I got to go to something different. Tried my between the legs. Let me see if I do a hesitation, stutter step. And I went to proceed to take off again. And the next thing I knew, I hit the back of the canvas of the backboard and I was wedged in between the posts. And I said, oh, this is Boston versus Philly in the finals. I said, Doc said it was gonna be serious.
Yeah, no, you sometimes you gotta ramp it up again.
Oh man, it got ramped up all right. So Doc got the ball back and he got the ball. So it wasn't even like, hey, that's a foul. It was like, nah, bro, this is how we play. That ain't no foul. Check ball. And you proceed to just rattle off bucket after bucket. The last bucket that was scored. They don't have that on camera, Doc. I think they got you hitting some jumpers on me. But then after that, the last bucket, I'll never forget this, Doc. You crossed me up, and I was like, oh, I got the steal. I could see the ball, and I had been measuring your time and your dribbles. And when I reached down to get the ball, you grabbed my hand with your other hand. And you said, "Yo,
I keep losing you, but I'm back.
You back?"
And I know you told the story.
Yeah, I'm still telling it.
And
you came and you
Daytona
said,
Beach.
"Elevator, you getting ready to take the elevator up?" And you proceed to take me to the basket, cuff it in one hand, hold my other hand with this hand, and just throwing it down.
Yeah, man.
For game, Doc. It was a tie score. Next point win. And you got me with the old, Michael Jordan. The only thing you didn't have your tongue out. That's not the style. You were the afro in the wind, and it just, that was it, man. I was like, look at this. But the best part, and we take them back to your signature. You have one of the best signatures of all time. It's clean. It's classy. It's like artistic. and you signed that ball for me, told me that I was going to make it to the NBA. And I was like, I'm not even in college. And
how tall were you then? Were you 6'8" then?
I was 6'8", 6'9".
Yeah, you were 6'8", man. Yeah, you know. So you were long, you know.
Yeah.
We couldn't let that go to waste.
Couldn't let that go. You probably called Coach Thompson yourself and let him know he needed to start searching the streets for me.
Hey man, too many 6'8", 6'9" guys out there letting it go to waste. You know, when you get under a guy like Thompson who can teach you, school you, you know, inspire you, and whatever, and also make you go to class.
Right. That's a fact.
That's the package right there.
That's right. And he didn't have to work hard to get me to go to class. Not with Sequette and Johnny Williams walking around. That wasn't anything he had to worry about. But man, it was the opportunity to go to class. That was the key for a great institution, and I appreciate Georgetown for that, and that what they continue to do. But man, that was the game. We got to show this one last picture of me and Doc at the end of the game with my buddies, Kevin Harrod, who's a coach now. There, that's the picture right there. That's where it all comes together where, you know, this is a guy who, you know, met me for the first time, and we've been friends ever since. We've done so many appearances together with the NBA and traveled the globe.
But I keep bringing it back. We keep losing it, but I keep bringing it back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because we got some thunder and lightning going on here in Atlanta. So I've been losing you, but, you know.
Yeah, we still got you.
We still got it. Yeah, that's good.
And, hey, Doc,
man, that's history, man, you know, because you're talking about pictures and stuff like that, man. Time marches on, but memories are forever. And memories, you know, if you create memories, that's one way of capturing them, you know, putting them in video and putting them on pictures and putting them on drawings and, you know, just your own recollection. Or sometimes when you just lay down and go to sleep, man, stuff comes back to you in your mind, man. It's amazing. That's going to happen the rest of your life too. So
that's right.
Yeah.
It's in your spirit, Doc. When it's in your spirit, it can't go away.
Yeah.
It's part of who you are.
Yes,
that's right. I got something for you though. We got with IP FAMBA, we're doing name, image, and likeness, helping middle school students, high school students, college students, pros, and legends actually capitalize on their name, image, and likeness through NFTs that they're able to produce right from their phones. And the phone is very powerful. A lot of us use it for social media and things of that nature to connect with our friends and family. But the NFTs are the next holy ground for athletes to be able to take their fan base and really connect and also put a value onto their names. So the upper left-hand corner of the screen, you can sign up for it just by clicking on the sign up button for IP FAMBA. But Dr. J, he is releasing one of his first personalized IP FAMBA NFTs for sale right on the show. You click on the icon that'll be showing up later. You'll be able to purchase this exclusive NFT right here off of IP FAMBA. This is one of one. It's got Doc coaching, playing, dunking, being who he is, got the afro and everything. And it's for sale right now on IP FAMBA. All the proceeds go to Dr. J, his foundation and what he does. But it's all about Doc, and we wanted to make sure we got his NFT up. We'll also put it on other shows till it's sold, but it's exclusive. So any of the Dr. J fans out there that's in the doctor's office, make sure you go to IPFAMBA.com.
Yeah, you might have to go to a collector for that. And there's, you know, I mean, there's people who are in there, man. I keep running into this brother from Puerto Rico all the time, man. He's got rings and he's got photos, he's got trophies, he's got you know, he's got probably the greatest collection of stuff of anybody, and he's offshore. So, you know, with those big hurricanes and all that kind of stuff, man, he better have a nice vault or something, or a room, something to protect all that stuff, because it's priceless. His collection is priceless, man.
You got a treasure chest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
You big on collecting stuff?
I'm big on collecting, you know, a lot of my kids' moments. That's the big thing for me. You know, trophies kind of come and go, but it's like that moment that you want to be able to capture. I remember yesterday I was at my son's baseball game. You know Jeremiah, Doc. You talk to him all the time. That's your guy. But you know, his basketball is still coming along. But he, you know, during different seasons, he picked up a different sport just to try it out in baseball. So he hadn't gotten a hit all season. This was the last game yesterday. And he knows I kind of sit in the back because I'm like, you know, it's not his dominant sport, so I don't want any extra pressure on him. And he's trying to, you know, be as good as basketball. But I know it's not. You can't play 1 year of basketball and 13 years of basketball, 1 year of baseball, and expect the same results, right? So he gets up there to bat, and I'm like, all right, well, let me make sure I'm in position so I can see him. And my wife is right there with the camera, and I'm like, okay, good. She hits it. First swing, crack, hits it. I'm like, oh, he hit it. He hit the ball. So he's running. He gets to first base, almost gets a second, figures out, nah, I can't go to second, but I'm almost he got a single, right? So I'm like, yeah. Okay. So he sees me in the back, he looks at me. Right. He's like, Dad, you saw that, right? I was like, yeah, I saw it. So I get home, we get home, and he's like, yeah, Dad, pull up the footage. Let's see, you know, because he knows if I'm there, I got it, right?
You taping it, yeah.
I said, nah, your mom got it. Your mom got it. I was right there. Your mom got it. He's like, okay. So he grabs mom's phone. Mom in the bathroom. I don't know where she at. He pulls it out and he's like, oh no, Dad, she got it after I swung the ball. I'm like, what? Oh man. So, me and him laugh. I'm like, see,
I guess he got to do it again. That's all.
You got to do it again now. Got to wait till next season. Got to pull it off again.
Got to do it again. But you saw it live. Y'all saw it live. So
I saw it live. So it's in here. It's in here. But that's what it's all about. I love moments, man. I love moments, and you know, spending time with you in the summer. You know, I'm looking forward to it. I heard we might be going to London, so you know, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah. There are a lot of incentive for guys to make it to the championship. You know, the Big Three has become a part of the Olympics, and you know, I mean, it's been a high lifestyle sport in Europe, and Asia for a long time. So, you know, with Cube and us, you know, we're just making the States more familiar with pro basketball 3-on-3, because 3-on-3 has always been amateur sport, you know, and they're not even in high schools and colleges or whatever, just people playing street ball.
Right.
So now, with it being in the Olympics, with it being as popular as in Europe, this whole trip to London at the end of the season in September is a great incentive to step up the game. You know, whether you're a coach or whether you're a player or whether you're a fan or whatever, you just need to step it up, try to make that trip.
That's it. Yeah. Hey, Doc, thanks for coming on the show, man. It's always a pleasure. I really appreciate your friendship and all that you do for your fans and the NBA and the Big Three and the game of basketball. You're a global icon, man. So I salute you.
Thank you, JYD. I love you, man. I love you. And, you know, things that we talked about, they're all relevant in their own way. But, you know, some of the things that you mentioned in terms of how basketball history is recorded and reported, or whatever, hopefully that word will be able to be spread a little more, and the dialogue can continue, and there can be justice, you know?
Come on now. We here to put it out there. I'm here to put it out there. Appreciate you, Doc. Let's go, man. Dog pound.
God bless.
IP FAMBA.
My man.
Okay, we're all.